Good evening. How's everybody doing? I'm just looking in the background here and it's saying that the stream's going to be a little bit choppy or some shit like that. It's making some recommendations. Everything looks fine on my end, which is kind of fucking flumpy, but I have no idea, man. It's kind of fucking weird. So I'll just make sure that everything's all copacetic over here first and foremost. So shout out to Meme, shout out to Rookie for turning out right now. See you guys in here. Thanks for doing that. Really do appreciate that. Looks like, yep, no, everything's back up and running, which is kind of fucking weird, but I totally anticipated that. But, yo, we see George over here. What's up, my brother? I'm going to start saying that instead of gay for... Yeah, it's Pride Month. I don't even know. Like, that's the first thing that came to mind. Like, I think that they said... I know that they definitely censor the... in the Rumble chat, the rainbow F slur, but yeah, I'm not too sure about gay. Oh no, I guess he can say gay because he put it in there. Did you see the photo I sent to? I really got to check up on locals to see what's going on over there. The sunset last night was, last Monday was insane. I thought it was the moon. Yeah, the fucking smoke, man, all over North America right now is something else. Hey, hopefully you guys are managing through it all right because, man, I'm gonna tell you what, it's been tough to want to and have the capacity to stream over the past couple of nights. Yesterday, it was just an absolute no-go. Like, there was nothing that I could have possibly done. My head was, it was in a bad spot. I couldn't even look at the lights. Like, I couldn't even have my two lights or the backlight going at the same time without me just having to kind of Chinese eyes it. It wasn't gonna happen. My voice was nowhere near as good. I could only crank out a couple of videos, the ones that you guys seen, videos 3 and 4 yesterday. It was a fucking wrap, and even right now, like, jaw's in a little bit better of a position. My nose doesn't quite feel like it's still so solid like this, so I don't come off doing a fucking cheap-ass Marlon Brando from The Godfather Don Corleone impression, but this is a very important topic. It's something that is going to have a lot of reading associated with it as well. Not a lot of video breakdowns, but I do have some videos that we need to take a look at as well to give full context of it, because Tuesday's definitely going to be an interesting day. Don't know if Trump's going to be doing a perp walk. Don't know if there's going to be a booking photo or anything like that, but that's going to be the highest propensity and the highest likelihood that that's going to be the case. So, yeah, it's more than likely what we're going to end up covering on Tuesday, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see when it comes to this. So I appreciate you guys turning out for this stream that was, it was supposed to go at 6. It was supposed to be last night. Then it got moved to 6 today. And now here we are at about 8 o'clock local time, but 10 o'clock out east. So for everybody turning out, I do appreciate it. And without further ado, let's get right into the subject matter, because mostly for your guys' viewing pleasure and then for my own well-being, because I've got to record videos and do streams for the rest of the week. It's not going to be a terribly long stream. Like, we'll probably end up going the standard hour and a half, but don't anticipate anything going super long. Bright spot and some good news is supposed to be getting some rain, like some consistent rain where it's not going to be 1,000 degrees, here as well, because it's been also 30 with smoke. So even having the windows open, which is hilarious. I was going to take pictures of that as well, but had some windows cracked around my place as well, and I woke up in the morning and there was a considerable write your name in the ash that was coming through the window. So my entire place was smelling, and still for the better part of today it was stanking like smoke. It's kind of lifted a little bit. At least there's no ash hanging in the air right now, so I'm gonna try to make the best of a bad situation right now, and we got to do it. We got to do it for the Don, right? Not for me, but for the OG that's right there. The only guy who I knew outside of Donald Sutherland who had my name that I could look up to, because I think everybody kind of does that thing where it's like, okay, who's the most important and relevant person with your own first given name? And yeah, it was a really short list. Like, there was some old-time hockey players, but it was Trump. It was always Trump. I wasn't necessarily the biggest supporter of him at the time, because, well, I just kind of thought of him like everybody else. He was, the reality show guy who, I guess he made his money in real estate or something like that. He just always kind of seemed like an arrogant ass until you started listening to him, and it's like, oh shit, this guy's actually talking some real stuff. And then the amount of backlash he faced in 2015, it was like, no, once again, you just listen to what the guy's saying, and makes a whole hell of a lot of difference now, doesn't it? But Oh, excuse me. Like I was saying. So, this came down Thursday evening. Trump charged with making false statements and concealing documents. So, former President Donald Trump has been charged. I think it's a whole hell of a lot of charges, right? But we'll obviously get into the specifics of it. I don't have the 49-page indictment that's available out there, but I thought going over that in absurd detail would have been a waste of everybody's time. But we can go through it on Tuesday. We could take a look at it then, but I'd imagine we're probably going to have some spicier things to talk about. But for it's all circulating around making false statements. Interesting. Concealing documents and conspiring to obstruct justice, a newly unsealed indictment shows. Trump aide Valtine, I would imagine, Nauta, has also been charged. It's interesting why they only charged 2 people when how many people were employed at Mar-A-Lago? Trump announced he'd been indicted. Oh, yes, he's been indicted on June 8th. Obviously, that was that Friday? Friday or Tuesday? No, today's the 11th. Yesterday was the 10th. Yeah, so the 8th. He says he's innocent. A lawyer representing Nata declined to comment. Yes, yeah, I covered that in a video. Everything that we knew at the time when that dropped, right? Anyways, Trump violated federal law by causing scores of boxes, many of which contain classified documents, to be transported to his Mar-A-Lago resort after Biden became president on January 20th. Interesting. Okay, so he was still moving documents after he left the White House. Huh. According to the indictment, which was approved by a grand jury in Florida and signed by special counsel Jack Smith. And we have that press conference. We're going to take a look at that for that Rasputin. Well, a shaven Rasputin with fucking dark circles around his eyes. He's a creepy looking fuck. The resort, was not an authorized location to hold the documents, but what the fuck? No, he was in communications with NARA, the National Archives and Registration Association. I forget what the other A stands for, but really doesn't much matter. I'm sure we'll get into it as well. But, no, they said it was all cool as long as you had a lock on the door where you're keeping the documents. So it's like, what the fuck is going on here? So that's interesting. Yes, we're not authorized to hold the documents, but Trump stored them in various places, including a bathroom and his bedroom, the indictment states. And yes, there are some pictures. I wonder if we those pictures in this article. Yeah, okay. So that was the one that was making the rounds, and some Democratic senators were tweeting it out, and it was like, oh, no wonder he got indicted. It's like, who knows if those are all classified? Don't know for sure or not, and even still, like, we know that there are boxes, but again, if we're going to be playing tit for tat, we also know that there are classified documents that Biden was keeping in his garage, and just wondering when that indictment's going to be coming down. Any day now, right? But no, what do we got going back up to this? In May of 2021, Trump took some boxes. Oh, yeah, some of the boxes to another property, the Trump National Golf Course in Bedminster, New Jersey. Authorities allege. Ooh, interesting. Trump is accused of showing the classified documents to other people on 2 separate occasions in 2021 at the golf club. He showed what he described as a plan of attack to a writer. Okay, a publisher, and 2 staff members in July of 2021, the indictment states. Trump said he could have declassified the plan while he was president, but that he couldn't since he was no longer in office. This is secret information, he was quoted as saying. Yeah, but that's Trump, once again, just simply being braggadocious. From what I can read, this is obviously going to be the state's most compelling case that they're going to be writing in the indictment. It's the same thing where it's Trump's just always going, oh, excuse me. Like I said, my voice is kind of a little bit flumpy, but we'll try the old Trump impression for a second, shall we? This is the best plan that you guys are likely to ever see. It was super secret, top secret, in fact. A lot of people tell me that I could have declassified it, and in fact, I did declassify it, folks. You know, just because the president is there, he could declassify anything that he wants, anything and all things. So, it all depends as to how much, what is the full breadth of the presidential's ability to declassify the documents? That's what's ultimately going to be at the center of this case. In the state, the Department of Justice, Jack Smith, thinks that it ends specifically where he believes it does, haven't really got to the specifics on that, and Trump believes that it is a power that is absolute. Seems to be some precedent on the side of, well, the president, but we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, we got all of that stuff in August or September of 2021. Oh, that's all right. You don't need to get into specifics when you're indicting a former president, right? No, it's just one of those months. Don't worry about it. Trump allegedly showed a classified map to a representative of the Save America PAC. A classified map. Huh. Okay, cool. This is the map that we used to have in the Oval Office. It was a beautiful, beautiful map. It was right there, right next to the bust that I used to have of Abraham Lincoln. And a lot of people tell me that I was even better to the blacks than Abraham Lincoln. A lot of people who know history tell me that all the time. It's a fantastic compliment. It's a great compliment. Not one I'd say about myself, but I'll tell you what, folks. It was a great compliment, and it's a great map as well. It's a fucking map. I understand that it's probably like for defense fortifications, but outside of the extrapolated interpretation that you can get when it comes with these declassified documents, which I'm sure the documents themselves were declassified, but was there any other underlying information on there that can be perceived as being detrimental to any of the offices? Because that's realistically what they're trying to parse out here. Okay, so you declassified some top secret FBI documents, right? And okay, the documents from the president are declassified. Fantastic stuff that you have right there. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But is there some information that would lead to the discovery of any sort of secret acts that the FBI had to do, or the CIA or the DEA, whatever the fuck it is, okay, whatever agency that's out there, that was further down the line classified information as to tactics or support that's on there? That's interesting, and that's what they're going to be working out, okay? So, FBI agents opened up the investigation into Trump retaining classified documents on March 30th, 2022. Trump tried obstructing the investigation, including suggesting to one of his attorneys that the lawyer tell the FBI that Trump did not have classified documents by directing NADA to move boxes of documents to conceal them, according to the indictment. Okay, well, what happens if we don't respond at all or don't play ball with them? That's probably the first thing. It's like, okay, they want the documents back. Well, they're all declassified. Well, they still want them back. Well, no, they're mine. What happens if we don't engage with them? And then that's the beginning of the conversation. Trump was quoted as saying, oh, now you have a specific quote on May 23rd, 2022 by one of his attorneys. Ooh, that's good. But you couldn't get down the specifics as to when everything was on the move. Or the classified map. Interesting. Sure. Trump said he was firing attorneys John Rowley and Jim Trusty. Yes, shortly before his indictment was unsealed. And yeah, just for a little bit more clarification, the Trump presidential records case, as we know, all of this kind of kicked off 2021. CBS Miami reported that at least 2 moving company trucks were spotted at President Donald Trump's residence in Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach. And then, yes, the 19th signs a letter designating Mark Meadows and others in charge of his presidential records in separate documents. Trump also declassified certain materials related to the FBI's Crossfire Hurricane investigation. Probe was launched in 2016 to examine possible ties between Trump campaign and Russia operatives, which we all know now is total fucking cap. The 20th, yes, obviously hours before Trump's tenure ends, Meadows, Trump's chief of staff, writes his own memo about the Crossfire Hurricane records. The Office of Legal Counsel advised that the Privacy Act does not apply to the White House. He writes, still, Meadows says, to avoid unwarranted invasion of personal privacy, he is returning a bulk of the binder of declassified documents to the DOJ and requesting a Privacy Act review. Washington Examiner later reports that Meadows' memo resulted in the DOJ blocking the records from release. Interesting there as well. I know that there's a couple of other interesting things in here as well. Going back and forth, we kind of already know that, and if you don't, I've got plenty of videos on it, and I think that that's very well known information at this point in time, so we need not to tread over well-worn ground, right? The response to the May 11 subpoena. June 3rd, right, a Trump attorney hands over an envelope to NARA containing 38 documents with classification markings, including 5 documents marked confidential, 16 marked secret, 17 marked top secret. Oh my God, look at all that stuff. And then I think it was about August when, the FBI agent signs an affidavit under seal. And a Florida federal judge agrees to issue a warrant allowing the search of Mar-A-Lago. It goes down from then. And then, of course, on the 8th of June, 2023, on the exact same day that it was revealed that Joe Biden, through a whistleblower, was on the take from Burisma. What the fuck else happened that day? Yeah, there was a couple of other news stories that was out there, but that's all right. Now Trump's been indicted federally this time around, and we finally got him, boys. Blue and on finally they can go out there and they can say that the walls are finally closing in, and that Trump will be doing 1,000 years in jail, right? But like I said off rip, we got the Jack Smith press conference, and doesn't he look like a trustworthy boy? What a good man that he is right out there. So I know that this video right here isn't it's not all, and we can just go ahead and move all the way up into here as he's taking the stage. We can go ahead and play, make sure that I got the audio up and all that stuff. Now I want to listen to it as well because, this guy, he's apparently got the goods on Trump, right? Because this happened, this was on Friday after Trump announced that he'd have to turn himself in on Tuesday at the Miami courthouse, and it'll be interesting to see. So let's go. Jesus, easy.
Good afternoon.
Not really.
Today, an indictment was unsealed.
Oh, no.
Charging Donald J. Trump with felony violations of our national security laws, as well as participating in a conspiracy to obstruct justice.
Oh, no, that sounds terrible.
This indictment was voted by a grand jury of citizens in the Southern District of Florida.
Oh, no. Well, Florida's one of those good places. They voted for Trump, so see how honest this is?
And I invite everyone to read it in full, to understand the scope and the gravity of the crimes charged.
Maybe we will, then.
The men and women of the United States intelligence community and our armed forces dedicate their lives to protecting our nation and its people. Our laws that protect national defense information are critical for the safety and security of the United States, and they must be enforced. Violations of those laws put our country at risk.
I'm sure they do. Just like, little glad-handing efforts by Joe when he goes over to China. Or, oh no, that bridge was, that was summarily bombed, right? As soon as he took office, but he was all systems go before he got there, right?
Adherence to the rule of law is a bedrock principle of the Department of Justice.
Sure thing, pal.
And our nation's commitment to the rule of law sets an example for the world. We have one set of laws in this country, and they apply to everyone. Applying those laws,
what the fuck?
Collecting facts,
bro, you're not
that's what determines the outcome.
He's not supposed to say such funny shit when I'm trying to drink my water. Christ almighty, it would have been all over the place. Fuck's sake. We have an equal rule of law that is equally applied to everybody. Well, I gotta hear that again.
We have one set of laws in this country, and they apply to everyone. Applying those laws, collecting facts, that's what determines the outcome of an investigation.
Sure thing, pal.
Nothing more and nothing less. The prosecutors in my office are among the most talented and experienced in the Department of Justice.
Yeah, and this is such an unprecedented event. How could you possibly have anything that could be looked upon as any sort of experience in this type of a situation? Come on, man.
They have investigated this case hewing to the highest ethical standards, and they will continue to do so as this case proceeds. It's very important for me to note that the defendants in this case must be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law. To that end, my office will seek a speedy trial in this matter.
Yeah, I think we got a court date because we at least have a judge that's set down.
Consistent with the public interest and the rights of the accused. We very much look forward.
Oh, yeah, and we also want to fuck up any sort of primary situation that we possibly can with this.
To presenting our case to a jury of citizens in the Southern District of Florida.
Oh, and also for anybody wanting, unless there's a specific rule that's laid down, this proceeding will not be televised. There might be an audio line, but outside of somebody specifically wanting them, and I don't even know if that can be I don't even know if that can be requested, but federal courts don't get videotaped. So all of this shit is going to be happening under the cover of night, unless of course you go to the courthouse. But holy fuck, like there was raffles and people waiting in line for Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, or even for the Ghislaine Maxwell case in New York, in on and around just after that. No, that happened right at the end of the year. But yeah, nothing's going to be close. Nothing is going to be close to that if it's only in-person attendance, which, fuck, it just sucks because this would have been a case to definitely watch along with.
In conclusion,
Okay.
I would like to thank the dedicated public servants of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, with whom my office is
I'd like to thank the FBI. Oh, yeah.
conducting this investigation, and who work tirelessly every day upholding the rule of law in our country. I'm deeply proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with them. Thank you very much.
Why Florida, sir? Why did you decide to bring the case in Florida?
Oh, just like his boss, he doesn't answer any questions. All right, fantastic stuff. Yeah, you just went out there. You went out there and indicted the first former president on a federal case in history. And no questions, no nothing. All you did is just, announce the charges. The fuck, even, fat Albert Bragg up there in New York, when he dropped his charges, even he took some questions afterwards. So that's just fucking wild. So in order to fill in the gaps on all this stuff, I wanted to hear Trump's response on this. Okay, so you know what? Hey, he dropped this right afterwards. I watched this in my own, but yeah, I think we might as well watch it right now, shall we?
Very sadly, we're a nation in decline.
Very sad.
And yet, they go after a popular president, a president that got more votes than any sitting president in the history of our country, by far.
By far.
And did much better the second time in the election than the first. And they go after him on
Yo, it just needs better lighting next time. Just saying, he's a little washed out, but
a boxer's hoax, just like the Russia hoax and all of the others. It's just been going on for 7 years. They can't stop because it's election interference at the highest level. There's never been anything like
it is, but right now in the short term, it's definitely helping Trump because we're going to see from other people in the race how well they're handling this situation.
what's happened. I'm an innocent man. I'm an innocent person. They had the Mueller hoax, the Mueller report, and that came out. No collusion after 2.5 years. That was set up by Hillary Clinton and Democrats. But this is what they do. This is what they do so well. If they would devote.
Oh, and if you're wondering about Jack Smith, his wife, I know that he donated to the Democrats and his wife worked with the Obama administration in some fairly close capacity. So yeah, no, it's an inside job. In case anybody wondered or had any lingering assertions to the contrary, no, that's exactly what this is.
Their energies to honesty and integrity would be a lot better for our country. They could do a lot better. They could do a lot of great things. But when you look at what's happened to our country in the last 3 years, we were energy independent. We had a strong military that wasn't woke. We were doing so well. We were respected all over the world. Got the biggest tax cuts in history, biggest regulation cuts in history. And what do? You have a president where an election was taken.
No, it was stolen. I think we can say that at this point in time. I think so. I think that was the YouTube policy reversal. And if that's the case, might as well fucking try it out right now.
Got more votes than any sitting president.
74 million votes. Actual votes. Didn't have to go out there and, pick them up from different places.
In history by far. Never anything even close. And they come after me because now we're leading in the polls again by a lot against.
CBS Morning Consult poll, I think I seen this morning. 32 points up over DeSantis. Oof.
Biden and against the Republicans by
Nice.
a lot. But we're leading against Biden by a lot, a tremendous amount. And we went up to a level that they figure the way they're going to stop us is by using what's called warfare. And that's what it is. This is warfare for the law. And we can't live.
I think he wanted to say lawfare, but of course Trump, he never backs down once he starts saying a sentence that he's just going to continue to lumber through, and eventually he'll catch back up. You know, it's much better than Biden, who will just invent new terms. Transgester. I love it, though, to be completely... I think that's probably the only thing that he's done during his entire presidency that is worthy of note.
Let it happen. We can't let it happen. Our country is going to hell, and they come after Donald Trump, weaponizing the Justice Department, weaponizing the FBI. We can't let this continue to go on because it's ripping our country to shreds. We have such big problems, and this shouldn't be one of them. It's a hoax. The whole thing is a hoax, just like Russia, just like the fake dossier was a hoax. You saw the Durham report. You saw the Mueller report. It was all a big hoax. You had 2 impeachments, and they lost, and we won.
It's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate he didn't lock her up. It's a nice campaign slogan. Should have just followed through on it because, well, I guess hindsight, of course, being 2020, never anticipated them to go this hard on you. But yeah.
And we had tremendous support. But that was a hoax and a scam.
Yeah.
And now they're doing it again. It's just a continuation, 7 years, even after I'm out. But it's called election interference. They're trying to destroy your reputation so they can win an election. That's just as bad as doing any of the other things that have been done over the last number of years, and especially during the 2020 election.
Yep.
So I just want to tell you, I'm an innocent man. I did nothing wrong.
Yay.
And we will fight this out just like we've been fighting for 7 years. It would be wonderful if we could devote our full time to making America great again. And that's exactly what we did. But now, again, our country is in decline. Yeah. We're a failing nation. And this is what they do. I'm an innocent man. We will prove that again. 7 years of proving it. And here we go again. Very unfair, but that's the way it is. I just want to thank everybody. We are doing something very special for our country. We're putting America first. I always put America first.
I always do.
And that's why we were in a position. Unfortunately, that position is no longer valid because they've done such a poor job. But we're in a position where we're going to make America.
Don, this whole statement could have been done in about 2 minutes, but that's why he's so charming.
America great again. I'm innocent, and we will prove that very, very soundly and hopefully very quickly. Thank you very much.
Yay. I agree. I totally agree. And this also reminds me, I just need to pull up another tweet that I seen here as well, because Barnes breaks down exactly. Here we go, right here. Yeah. So I seen this earlier today, and I'll take his opinion when it comes to legal issues, because Barnes, if you don't know, Robert Barnes does the live stream with Viva Fry, and he's probably the best. There's a couple of good lawyers that are out there. He's definitely the sharpest when it comes. He's an encyclopedia of knowledge. Long story short, quick cheat sheet on the top 5 constitutional issues with the Trump indictment. Number 1 violates Article 2 of executive power. That's the declassification addendum, right? Yeah, okay. So violates the First Amendment, selective prosecution. Interesting. Yeah, because out of everybody who's taken classified documents, like, it's verifiable. Biden, Obama, Clinton, obviously, which we're going to go ahead and watch the... Actually, we should probably watch that right afterwards, because I got the Comey one, as you can see right here. I got the Comey press conference, just to compare and contrast with the Jack Smith situation. And yeah, that one is just the important point where, yeah, she had classified documents, and yeah, she destroyed them, and yeah, there was improper handling of it, but we're not going to go after her because... Well, don't you know her list? Her list of top 10 hits. Yeah, it's even bigger than the Beatles and Michael Jackson combined. Anyways, the Fourth Amendment. Okay, yeah, search and seizure. Interesting. Okay, violates Fifth Amendment grand jury venue clauses for misuse of D.C. grand jury. Oh, so this was put in front of the D.C. grand jury, and then it's going to be tried in Miami. Interesting. Okay. Violates the Sixth Amendment attorney-client privilege with other issues, including the impeachment clause. First Amendment issues with prosecuting your opponent. Yeah. Okay. Fifth Amendment due to process issues from government misconduct in the case and vagueness of classification laws as applied to the president, unconstitutionality of the Espionage Act, and vagueness of obstruction laws. Yes, those are all valid concerns of what will be raised heading up to and through the trial, because as thorough of a list that is, and I haven't done any additional research as to the validity of that, I'm just trusting Barnes on this situation, they'll take a look at it, just like a lot of those election lawsuits. They'll take a look at it. Oh, looks valid. But latches. Oh, that looks valid. Oh, but standing. So yeah, they'll just go ahead and throw it, and it's like, we'll just let the system play out, right? But very... It's just a fucking idiot, but we'll just go. What did I got? Okay, yeah, we got the judge, and I think we also got a trial date when it comes to this stuff. So, judge who ruled in Trump's favor. It's fucking hot in this place. Trump's favor assigned to Mar-a-Lago documents case. A federal judge who was appointed by former President Donald Trump has ruled in favor of his case involving records seized from his home in the FBI is assigned to his new criminal case. District Judge Eileen Cannon. Oh, she was responsible for... there was a couple of rulings. I'm sure that they probably make mention of that as well. Is assigned to the criminal case, which was lodged in federal court in southern Florida. According to the court docket, new cases are assigned randomly to one of 26 judges, and it just so happens to be one of the other judges that was on this very investigation. Interesting. It was one of these, I'm pretty sure. But anyways, Cannon, former U.S. prosecutor, who was appointed as a judge in 2020, sided with Trump in a previous case brought by former president against the government following the execution of the search warrant at his Mar-a-Lago resort. Trump asked for an independent person to be called a special master to be appointed and to help adjudicate disputes over the documents the FBI seized, many of which weren't marked classified, which is exactly why I find this picture right here so interesting as well, because yeah, they took a whole bunch of even the fucking lead picture of the timeline that's right here. Time magazine pictures that they were taking as well. Okay, like there's a bunch of other news clippings that they seen that I think I seen in one of the pictures as well. They were strewn across the floor. How could those possibly be classified? But the FBI was snatching shit up like it was a fucking kid in a candy store, right? So Cannon ruled on September 5th, 2022 that the special master would be helpful in identifying personal documents that Trump was entitled to. Okay, interesting as well. Okay, appeals court overturns the ruling. Yes, all that stuff as well. And then, okay, request for recusal. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, so Jack Smith could theoretically, because, she was randomly assigned, right? And then she's on this case as well. So he could file a motion to have her thrown off the case and then bring in, I don't know, one of those fucking commie sympathizers that Clinton probably put in or something like that. Bill, not Hillary. Well, I guess it depends on who you think wears the pants in that relationship. Under federal law, if prosecutors reasonably believe that Cannon can't be fair, they could file an affidavit asking that Cannon recuse herself from the case, arguing that she has a personal bias or prejudice. If she finds the affidavit is sufficient, she must step down. Given the reversal of Cannon's ruling last year, there already appears to be fair ground for disqualification because the public might reasonably question her impartiality. Yeah, of course, that makes sense, and I could see that happening. Okay, yeah, she's a member of the Federalist Society. Not great. Yeah, including Neil Gorsuch, which isn't necessarily a down, but Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett, that's big fucking downs. Yeah, she was born in Cali, Colombia. Interesting as well. Yeah, so I guess she knows how to make things. She knows how to do business behind the scenes, but I think it would be fair, okay? Because, yeah, we already watched the Jack Smith press conference, right? But the full press conference from James Comey, remember, this one went like 15 minutes long, but it was mostly just meandering, and it just, in order to just get directly to the point, they have the nice little important point clipped out. It's about 3 minutes long, and why not just take a look at this, shall we? I think it'll be interesting.
Now let me tell you what we found. Although we did not find clear evidence that Secretary Clinton or her colleagues intended to violate laws governing See how important that is? Did Trump intend? Nah, it's automatically inferred, right? Because Orange Man bad, but Hitman Lady good. the handling of classified information, there is evidence that they were extremely careless in their handling of very sensitive, highly classified information.
Highly sensitive, highly classified information. Careless in the handling, to which she, personally, Hillary Clinton this is, has no authorization to declassify any documents. Her highest level achieved in the federal government up to, well, what she thought would have been a presidency, where she could just go ahead and sweep all of this stuff under the rug, declassify everything that was on those servers before they were acid washed. Secretary of State, which last time I checked has zero declassification powers. Maybe it's been updated. And of course, just like the, Electoral Count Act. Yeah, just needed a timely tightening up, right?
For example, 7 email chains concern matters that were classified at the top secret special access program at the time they were sent and received.
So that's like the toppest of top secret. Just slinging them back out there, right? But Trump gets indicted.
Those chains involve Secretary Clinton both sending emails about those matters and receiving emails about those same matters. There is evidence to support a conclusion that any reasonable person in Secretary Clinton's position or in the position of those with whom she was corresponding about those matters should have known that an unclassified system was no place for that conversation.
Any reasonable person could have concluded that this wasn't the proper forum and that you were in fact breaking the law. But I guess when you think that you're like God's gift to politics, I guess you wouldn't be considered a reasonable person.
In addition to this highly sensitive information, we also found information that was properly classified as secret by the U.S. intelligence community at the time it was discussed on email. That is, excluding any later up-classified emails. None of these emails should have been on any kind of unclassified system, but their presence is especially concerning because all of these emails were housed on unclassified personal servers, not even supported by full-time security staff, like those found at agencies and departments of the United States government.
Or at, like, say, Mar-A-Lago, where there's constant secret security detail, or when you're going back and forth with NARA to say, yeah, if you're going to have documents that are there, just keep them in some place that's locked up, that has a lock on the door.
Or even with a commercial email service like Gmail. I think it's also important to say something about the marking of classified information. Only a very small number of the emails here containing classified information bore markings that indicated the presence of classified information. But even if information is not marked classified in an email, participants who know or should know that the subject matter is classified are still obligated to protect it.
See, that's what I meant earlier when I was talking about just because the document itself is declassified, there could be other underlying issues at play that isn't declassified. So that's one of those technical gotchas that they're going to be trying to get Trump on.
And while not the focus of our investigation, we also developed evidence that the security culture of the State Department, in general, and with respect to the use of unclassified systems in particular, was generally lacking in the kind of care for classified information that's found elsewhere in the U.S. government.
I remember hearing about this at the time. This is actually the first time that I've watched this press conference or even just this little snippet of it. I just remember hearing it's like, okay, all of this stuff is adding up, and it's like, oh God, when the charges and the indictment eventually does come down, it's going to be absolutely destructive. But
with respect to potential computer intrusion by hostile actors, we did not find direct evidence that Secretary Clinton's personal email domain, in its various configurations since 2009, was hacked successfully. But given the nature of the system and of the actors potentially involved, we assess we would be unlikely to see such direct evidence. We do assess.
We don't know for sure if it did, but it's highly possible. It's kind of like there's a lock on the screen door, and it should keep people out, but we've noticed it's been kind of loose for the past couple of days. So if anybody actually came in, the lock was up.
Yes, that hostile actors gained access to the private commercial email accounts of people with whom Secretary Clinton was in regular contact from her personal account. We also assess that Secretary Clinton's use of a personal email domain was both known by a large number of people and readily apparent. She also used her personal email extensively while outside the United States, including sending and receiving work-related emails in the territory of sophisticated adversaries. Given that combination of factors, we assess it is possible that hostile actors gained access to Secretary Clinton's personal email account.
It's kind of like, I don't know, what's like a corollary that you could draw? Like apparently showing somebody a declassified map or something. It's not entirely sure.
So that's what we found. Finally, with
Oh no, where's the rest of it? 'Cause I
Looking
wanna-
for Trump.
Oh, that's all right. We're gonna hear from Trump here in a second. I actually got that clip pulled up,
now let me tell you,
but I guess, oh man, I wanted to get the findings specifically. Let's see if we can get that. I'm gonna go ahead. Interesting. Too long. Thought I had that one pulled up. I guess I grabbed the wrong clip. My mistake. Yeah, see what happens? I still have all the search terms that are up there.
they were sent or
Oh, there we
received.
go. See, you can hear
8
that.
of those chains contained information that was top secret at the time they were sent.
There we go.
Statutes regarding the handling of classified information. Our judgment is that no reasonable prosecutor would bring such a case.
No reasonable prosecutor would bring such a case based on all that information we heard beforehand. Let's run that back again. I just need to hear that.
May be
Just
appropriate
posterity's
given the
sake.
evidence. In this case,
Oh, no.
the prosecutors, we frequently make recommendations
Okay.
and engage in productive conversations with prosecutors about what resolution may be appropriate given the evidence.
Okay, given the evidence about handling documents that she knew were top secret, or at least had the potentiality to be top secret in nature, handling them on public and private servers that were not at all regulated, and then also flashing said information in front of other people as well. Almost seems like a one-to-one comparison right here.
In this case, given the importance of the matter, I think unusual transparency is in order.
Let's just pause and reflect on that for a second. All right.
Although there is evidence of potential violations of the statutes regarding the handling of classified information,
This will be played at every pretrial motion for the Trump case, by the way.
our judgment is that no reasonable prosecutor would bring such a case.
Bruh.
Prosecutors necessarily weigh a number of factors before deciding whether to bring charges. There are obvious considerations like the strength of the evidence, especially regarding intent.
Then why'd you bring up intent so much?
Responsible decisions also consider the context of a person's actions and how similar situations have been handled in the past. In looking back at our
How things were handled in the past in comparison. Okay.
investigations into the mishandling or removal of classified information, we cannot find a case that would support bringing criminal charges on these facts.
Oh, doesn't it kind of make you just want to punch air like a lot?
All the cases prosecuted involved some combination of clearly intentional and willful mishandling of classified information or vast quantities of information exposed in such a way as to support an inference of intentional misconduct or indications of disloyalty to the United States or efforts to obstruct justice. We do not see those things here. To be clear, this is not to suggest that in similar circumstances, a person who engaged in this activity would face no consequences. To the contrary, those individuals are often subject to security or administrative sanctions, but that's not what we're deciding now.
Of course not, right? Because she plays for the right team.
As a result, although the Department of Justice makes final decisions on matters like this, we are
That's somebody who we still haven't heard from. That could definitely be coming out tomorrow, though. We'll see.
expressing to justice our view that no charges are appropriate in this case.
But 7 in Trump's case, when it was like legitimately, how similar are these two situations? One results in, yeah, I know we got proof and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, it's fine. But then on the other side, we need to equally apply the law to everybody. And shut your fucking mouth, you stupid fucks. But no, that's what we have there. Let's see where I want to go after this, because I had everything all together. I think we kind of got that one right there. No, actually. Okay, so we'll just go ahead I'll go ahead and draw that one right there before we get into some of the more meme-y stuff. This will be about the last heavily intensive information type stuff. So how strong is the case against Trump? Well, we've seen a little cheat sheet from Barnes, but do we have anything else here that would be of note? Expert opinions and closer scrutiny of the indictment against former President Donald Trump points to questions about the strength of the case and the legitimacy of the procedures around obtaining evidence. Even as the charges are serious. Yes, they're very serious. Trump stands accused of illegally hoarding classified documents. Haven't seen that one used yet, but all right. At the Florida estate after leaving the White House in 2021. 49-page federal indictment charges Trump with 37 felony counts, including violating the Federal Espionage Act. Like, what? Flaunting top secret information in front of foreign actors? That's what you're alleging. And other federal statutes for allegedly conspiring to obstruct justice. I'm an innocent man. I did nothing wrong. We watched that statement. So, a weak case. Some experts have called into question the strength of the case against the former president. If this indictment is as weak as it appears to be, from what's been disclosed so far, it may be the most dangerous indictment in political history. Law professor Alan Dershowitz told Fox. Dershowitz is at the top of his game. Let's just call it exactly what he is. But it's still fun to point it out every once in a while. It has been at least as strong as the case against Richard Nixon. It has to be at least as strong as the case against Richard Nixon, which was deleting 3.5 minutes of audio. I still want to go over Watergate. That'll definitely, once we get all the streams back on track, I want to go over Watergate, and in light of Uncle Ted, Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber going up in smoke, that might be next week's Rumble stream, or I want to watch a documentary on Ted Kaczynski and the Unabomber, get that case more down pat, but that in the future, just saying, they got a bunch of stuff in the works. I haven't seen any suggestion that Republicans agree with this indictment, the professor added. Trump allies in Congress have panned the charges as politically motivated. Yeah, you don't say. It's not like there's a one-to-one comparison that's right out there in the past decade. No, of course not. Witch Hunt, the House Judiciary Committee, which has been investigating allegations of political weaponization under President Joe Biden's administration, wrote on Twitter. But while Trump maintains innocence and has downplayed the charges, other experts say that the case against him may be stronger than some believe. Oh my God. Yeah, of course, somebody that works in Washington says it comes across as obviously a very strong case if it can be proven. I think that if it can be proven isn't quite emphasized as much as it kind of should be. How serious is it? Jack Smith, who brought the case, made a brief public statement. Oh yeah, like a minute and a half, just saying, yeah, I got to be the first person to ever indict a former president, so that's fun. Okay, bye. Our laws that protect national defense information are critical to the safety and security of the United States, and they must be enforced. Really? Okay. A violation of those laws puts our countries at risk. Yeah, that's wonderful and fantastic. But let's see, what did the people have to say about these goofy little indictments? What about when Trump landed in Georgia last night? Trump gets a warm welcome at the airport that's down there, and you can see, look at all the people in the background. Like, they even got the official witch hunt, and I guess there's some, is that like a MAGA cowboy hat? I still want a MAGA hat. I'm trying to find one so bad. So when we do these Trump streams or political streams, I can wear that at the same time, because that's about the only baseball cap that I want to wear in today's day and age. I have so many baseball caps, but I don't have an opportunity to wear one, and I want to find a good quality MAGA hat, because you can find a bunch of knockoff ones on Amazon. But yeah, there's people at the airport, and then he was also giving a speech in Georgia, and as you can see, there were a few people kicking around that hall. Okay, you can see he had a pretty good turnout that was down there in comparison to somebody else who's on the stump right now, but we'll get to him very shortly. But like I said, I want to hear a little bit of a snippet from what was Trump talking about. Biden is trying to jail his leading political opponent. I think we know that. I think we know that that is 1,000% true. So.
The ridiculous and baseless indictment of me by the Biden administration's weaponized Department of Injustice will go down as among the most horrific abuses of power in the history of our country.
Oh, and this is in Georgia, but I just drew that connection, right? Because that's where the next indictment's probably going to come down as well, from the perfect phone call, which I'm pretty sure I still got that video up on Rumble. maybe that might be one where we can go back and listen to that phone call in full on a Rumble stream as well around the time that indictment happens, because I watched it, did a video on it, and holy fuck, there was nothing on there worthy of indictment. But you guys remember there was that bug-eyed 4-person who's making all the interview scenes for all the different the lefty cable news shows, who got those crazy eyes and you can just smell the cat piss through the screen. Yeah, we're still waiting for that shoe to drop, but that one should be relatively soonish, I would imagine, in order to make it just look like an avalanche and the walls are closing in on Trump. But I didn't think Georgia turned out for Trump, right? Like Georgia's a Ron DeSantis place. It's a Brian Kemp state. It's a Brad Raffensperger state. Raffensperger. I know. But to have that good of a turnout there, no. The polls say it's not good for Trump, right?
Many people have said that. Democrats have even said it. This vicious persecution is a travesty of justice. You're watching Joe Biden. Joe, I think of it. Biden is trying to...
Joe Biden? Did he just try to coin something by saying that he was taking bribes, or was that actually a misspeak?
Jail his leading political opponent, an opponent that's beating him by a lot in the polls, just like they do in Stalinist Russia or communist China. No different.
Just China, and then also Cambodia as well. I would like to be Pol Pot in this situation. Well, not Pol Pot. Who am I thinking of? The guy, Pinochet. You know, he likes a helicopter. I prefer jets, but if we want to take a helicopter ride, I've got some people that I think would be really nice to take a flight with, if you know what I mean.
Our country's gone very bad, and think of it. In 3 years. 3 years ago, we were energy independent. We had no inflation. We had low taxes. We had low interest rates. We had the greatest economy in history.
Shit didn't suck.
Think of it. And I could stand up here all day long and just talk about all of the great success we had. And now we have everything's the opposite. Inflation's killing our country. Energy is ridiculous and ridiculously high. We're getting energy from Venezuela. Nobody can even believe it. I never thought such a thing could happen to America. As far as the joke of an indictment, it's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing for this country. I mean, the only good thing about it is it's driven my poll numbers way up. Can you believe this? Way up.
Yeah. And actually, yeah, without going any further, I want to find some of those poll numbers as well, because yeah, it's pretty damning here, and I actually don't have that pulled up for a second, so just stare at me in my sweating ass right now. Well, not that specific. Pause, not that. I want to go forward because I have some of that shit pulled up. Okay, actually, I don't need that one anymore, but I can do bookkeeping later. I know Barnes has been tweeting out a bunch of this shit. Where's the poll numbers? Yeah, all of that shit's terrible. Here we go. Yeah, that's the one that I was looking for. The one that I made reference. Fucking Christ. Oh, my head feels like it's going to explode. But anyways, no, yeah, this is the CBS poll that I think I seen this morning. Was that when it was posted? Yeah, it would have been this morning. Okay. CBS News poll. Trump's biggest lead yet over DeSanctimonious, folks. 61% of eligible voters. Not exactly the biggest pool that's out there, and this was conducted June 7th through 10th. So after the news of the indictment broke, 38-point lead over DeSantis. And it's... that might look like a very wide gap, all things considered, but when you compare and contrast that with what else is going on right now, okay, because who else is on the stump right now? Well, DeSantis, and he decided to take a stop down in Oklahoma, and I think the campaign's over before it began, boys, because as the heading kind of alludes to, it's a very familiar face, a very familiar situation to actually the previously mentioned 2016 campaign. Let's see if you can spot the similarity.
Oklahomans love Ron DeSantis. Let's get it. Amen, brother.
Hear that again.
Love Ron DeSantis. Let's get it.
Oklahomans love Ron DeSantis.
Let's get it. Amen, brother.
Have to get an amen in there because we need to have some noise that's going to be played as well. Holy fuck. That is, yeah, that's a please clap moment if I've ever heard it. Okay, Oklahoma will go for Trump. Yeah, kind of 1000%, especially like, oh my God, like legitimately, look at the poll numbers. Okay, 23%. He's the best of a fucking busted pack, or yeah, the best of the worst. And even though, okay, like I think Vivek is still going to be the one to gain on, well, just take a look at the people that are in front of him. The only reason that Scott and Pence have 4% is because they kind of have name recognition, but you put Vivek on the debate stage, especially if Trump's not going to be there, not for any legal concerns, but I think he's been fairly fervent in staying out for the first debate, at least the first one that's supposed to be happening in August. So we'll be watching that one for 1000% certainty, because primary debates, I like presidential debates. Actually, I kind of like any sort of political debates on top of that stuff. I know I'm fucking weird, but especially the primary debates, oh my God, those ones basically come with a 2-drink minimum, and that shit's going to be fucking wild. And Vivek is definitely the best talker. Like, I don't know who Burgum is. I don't even think he does. But Larry Elder can definitely talk, but yeah, Vivek's going to be the one who's definitely going to be climbing in the polls, and that's 1000% sure. He's definitely going to end up third. He might even overtake DeSantis when it comes to popularity at the end of this. He might be one of the last couple of people standing, and yeah, I think he's got probably the brightest future, because Ron DeSantis has definitely killed it on the way out. But here was Ron's statement after the indictment came down, and I know that one of his surrogates that's down there, John Cardillo, who's kind of a drunk apparently. At least that's what's going on behind the scenes, but he hasn't been all that active recently when it comes to being one of the DeSimps that's out there. But his statement right here, okay, DeSantis's, has that exact same energy from when the New York indictment came down, where it's, I have no idea, I don't know what it has to do with hush money to porn stars, you fucking dork. But the weaponization of federal law enforcement represents a mortal threat to a free society. We have for years witnessed an uneven application of the law depending upon political affiliation. So far, so good. You're just missing the whole, I stand with Trump in the situation, even though we're currently engaged in a very heated back and forth. This is wrong. If you don't come out strong by saying that, I don't know what you're doing out there. You immediately look weak. You already look intolerable in front of the camera, and then just even just being met on the street. If you're not just propped up in front of a podium where you've got softball questions from B-tier journalists that are there, yeah, he looks very, very flappable. Why so zealous in pursuing Trump, yet so passive about Hillary or Hunter? Yeah, good question, Ron. I'm glad nobody's ever asked that before. The DeSantis administration, you're not even condemning the charges. All you're saying is that, oh, it's very dangerous if the illegal apparati gets weaponized against the other affiliation. We'll bring accountability to the DOJ, exercise political bias, and end weaponization once and for all. That's so nice to see a statement without him wedging woke into it. Holy fuck, man. But this is the guy. This is the chosen, he's the chosen avatar of, well, the people that unironically believe that Ron DeSantis is just like Donald Trump without any of the excess baggage. It's been stupid for the longest time, and it's something that I've been pointing out for the fucking longest. Like, Christ almighty, you can go all the way back to my profile specifically, and it's the pinned fucking tweet that's right up there. Or at least it used to be. No. I guess it was the Ron DeSantis one. Okay, well, anyways, they're not all winners, right, kids? Anyways, no. But just, that infuriates me, because, again, you're just being led by your emotions, not by who's actually leading the pack. If Trump was coming back and everybody was like, yeah, January 6th is too much of a hill for us to overcome, and you know what, hey, you kept a bunch of dumb people that were around you for way too long, and then you'd replace them with even worse people, like that's something that you could say. Or even being tricked into bombing Syria when, you know, the media was lapping it up for a second. If people had legitimate claims like that, as opposed to, no, Ron DeSantis good because he fight woke. And then also, you take a look at all the people that's propping up his failing campaign. It's the exact same people that were around there circling the Ted Cruz wagon at the time. And it's going the exact same way. The exact same fucking way. Because who is the biggest stump for him right now? Well, you already know exactly what time it is. We got little Benji here, and this is going to be the video that we're going to spend well, 7 minutes. It's going to be a little bit longer than 7 minutes because I got so much to say whenever it comes to the old tiny hat boy. But yeah, why he backs DeSantis and why he wants to proselytize to all the Facebook moms out there over Trump. Well, you have to remember, how was Daily Wire funded? His outlet right there. Well, he had a little lying bitch. Oh, I'm sorry. A coworker at Breitbart who got pushed out of the way because she was trying to be a nosy fucking journalist. And one of the security guards around Trump nudged her out of the way. She fell backwards, tripped over her own feet. And Ben Shapiro decided to white knight and stand up and believe all women, even though the security cam footage came out. And it's like, wow, she was being overly aggressive and nobody did anything wrong except for, I forget, was it Maggie or something? I don't want to disparage anybody because I can't quite remember the bitch's name, but she ended up falling over backwards and made way too much of a fucking scene about it. And Ben, well, his inability to not double down in his abject hatred of Milo Yiannopoulos when they were co-workers at Breitbart at the time, he decided to spin out and take his neocon ball and go to his own Bush-supported court and build up Daily Wire afterwards. And they were never Trump all the way up until about 2019, 2020, and whenever Ben Shapiro hands out a political endorsement, it is the fucking kiss of death. Like, there was something that was going around yesterday or Friday where, Gavin Newsom was talking good about Trump and how they had such a good open lines of communication. Oh, that's a political kiss of death. No, if you take a look at the endorsement track record of Ben Shapiro, that right there is the fucking Medusa stare of endorsements. So let's see how he's going to kill the DeSantis campaign, shall we?
It's true that Trump, for, let's say, blue collar.
Oh, frankly, for blue collar. I know that they're going to play that coming up. I don't want to spoil it because Daily Wire are they're outright elitists. Okay. And that's going to become painfully obvious one more time. And is that yarmulke getting bigger or is his head getting smaller? Just wondering.
Election the next couple of years. The governor of this state, Ron DeSantis, is very likely to challenge Donald Trump for the nomination.
When the fuck did this come out? Christ almighty. I thought this was brand 4 days ago. Okay, how long do you guys slow roll your fucking clips for, you weirdos? Anyways.
Who do you back?
By the way, these trigonometry guys are total fucking dorks. Sargon, Carl Benjamin did a back and forth with them just after, I think it was just after January 6th on the Lotus Eater show. That's when I was watching it first thing in the morning. It's kind of fallen off in my approximation, but it's still a good show, especially when it comes to talking about a whole bunch of topics. I would recommend it. I just don't watch nothing against it. It doesn't fit into my rotation, but he just really exposed how stupid these fucking guys are. So of course it makes sense that he's taken an interview from Ben Shapiro.
DeSantis.
Why?
Because do you want this from the why not Donald Trump or the why Ron DeSantis?
Both.
It's sort of,
both.
Yeah, I mean, they're two sort of angles. First of all,
Trump makes me feel bad.
I'll preface this with whoever is the Republican nominee, I'm a conservative, I'm very likely to vote for them.
Yeah, just like when Trump was the nominee in 2016, you didn't vote for anybody.
Now, as between DeSantis and Trump, we'll start with the shortcomings of Trump. He's 76 years old. He has no ability to control his mouth or his typing fingers.
That's just retarded. That's just, once again, him getting stuck in his feelings.
He has no sort of actual plan to win. I mean, he literally...
He has no plan to win except for campaigning and beating the brakes off of your golden boy. Very interesting. What exactly is the plan? I thought he was supposed to be, the facts don't care about your feelings guy. All I'm hearing is a lot of emotionalism. Thanks, Ben. Thanks for that pause screen, actually. Just going to go ahead and steal that one real quick. Thank you, Ben.
Complained in 2020 that he was robbed of the election through voter fraud, but no one will ask him a simple question. How do you plan to unrob the election in 2024?
One of the first statements he said is, we're going to become experts at ballot harvesting. It seemed to have selective memory there. Oh, boy. I wish I had the cash register. Anyways, but no. just selective memory, huh? Them boys.
Right? Like, what's your plan for victory?
I did ask that of his former deputy assistant, Seb Gorka,
Really?
when we interviewed him.
Oh, Seb Gorka? Oh, my God. Ooh. We got to run that interview back that he had with PBD. God, that was so fucking good. And I like Gorka, except for his take on Alex Jones. That's a little bit fucking borked. But, that guy, when it comes to conservative radio personalities, he's right up there with Larry Elder, 1,000%.
What?
Well, people will have to wait and see.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Don't tell me
Yeah,
off here.
yeah.
But he's trailing in every swing state poll.
That's just wrong. That is abjectly wrong.
He is wildly unpopular with independents. He's wildly unpopular with women.
Again, that's just wrong. And he's unpopular with women. That's the entire DeSantis campaign right now. We're just going to try to appeal to women. Look at how many women we have here. Look at how hot my wife is. Just fucking gross, man. It's this trad cuck simp tendencies, and that's why I just don't. And that's why I've always despised Ben Shapiro, like even way back in the cut, even when it was Ben Shapiro and Milo Yiannopoulos out there on the stump when it came to right-leaning voices. I know that we're going all the way back to like 2015 and 2016 and all that stuff. Ben Shapiro, fine when he's dunking on conservative kids, but going around on talk shows dispelling the myth that is feminism. Oh, Milo was absolutely blowing him out of the water in those debates because he actually had facts. Ben Shapiro on the other side, I don't want to be seen saying anything bad about women. That could end up reflecting bad on me. I love my wife, and she's a doctor, and she's the only person that ever touched my willy before, and then I chased her around for months on end, just continuing to say I love her, and then I eventually just ground her down, and eventually we got married, and we have a wonderful relationship. And if he wasn't Ben Shapiro, and if he didn't show all of that potentiality, he never would have gotten into that relationship. So it's absolutely absurd for him to be giving any sort of relationship advice. But another topic, another time, right?
Women. He has an approval rating, last I checked, in the 20s. And
last I checked, I would like to know when this was recorded, because they're just outright falsehoods.
He is 76 years old, and he already served a term.
Yeah, we know. And not all 76s they're not the same. I understand. Like, I'm somebody who has said term limits when age limits are appropriate. Like, you take a look at, what's her fuck there? Dianne Feinstein, who basically looks like Stephen Hawking in the Senate. You got Biden, who, man, that one clip where he's either going to go over and sniff a baby, or it just looks like he's completely lost. Compound that with him tripping over a fucking sandbag on a giant cocksucking stage. Not all elderly are built the same. We just listened to a unscripted statement from Trump for uninterrupted minutes. Sure, he was verbose. Sure, he might have been rambling at points in time. But 76-year-old Trump isn't even close to what you're getting with Biden. He could wipe the floor with every other member of the Democratic Party that has the potential to run for president. He would definitely easily go toe to toe with Rob Kennedy Jr., right? Like, there is absolutely, to raise the age question outside of, yeah, I guess he could get hit by lightning. Okay, would I trust him? I don't know, to fix a Tesla? Probably not, given his age. But outside of that, it's not a really honest critique, at least in my opinion. Again, just the work ethic alone.
I mean, that's a pretty formidable list of reasons why you don't nominate.
That's a lot of your opinion. That's a lot of your emotion. But outside of that, okay.
And he lost to the guy who's going to run on the Democratic Party.
Did he, though? Did he actually? What? Yeah, I think we can talk about that, right? Anyways, yeah. Wisconsin nursing homes. The F curve in Pennsylvania. Arizona, where I'm pretty sure that they're still counting ballots from 2018, 2020, and then 2022. Nevada, what ended up happening there? That was kind of interesting, right? What were the other states that were in question? What are some of them other states that were out there? Oh, yeah. You guys remember the poster board that was on all of those windows in the Detroit precincts? Or maybe transporting ballots in a little red wagon in the middle of the night? No, nothing about that. No, he lost that election. 81 million votes for sure. And don't take a look at any of those voter rolls, or just go watch. I know of your mortal adversary that's out there, Steven Crowder. Yeah, no, that was what Nevada was. Go take a look at all of those very real, very legitimate voting locations in the middle of nowhere, underneath overpasses, in the middle of empty fucking fields. That's where people were voting for, right?
Side already by 7 million votes. And by the available data, he will probably underperform how he performed in 2020.
Everybody will underperform because there won't be mass mail-in balloting. So again, just disingenuous horseshit. He's not providing any facts. It's just all my feelings. Maybe his Ron DeSantis claim will be a little bit, maybe it'll hold water more, or maybe that maybe that's why Trump was so successful when it comes to real estate, because he lives rent-free and underneath the beanie.
At least with, again, one of the hardest things in politics is to switch somebody's mind. Saying to millions of people, yeah.
Does he have that much cognitive dissonance? Did he just unironically say that? All right, then. Thanks, Ben.
You voted for me in 2016. Then you voted against me in 2020, and now I want you to switch back and vote for me. That's not even switch.
I don't even know how many people would have switched from 2016 going into 2020. They would have been much more on his side. Maybe they were a little trepidatious in 2016, a couple of disaffected Bernie supporters, people who just really didn't like Hillary, people that were just looking to throw a fucking wrench in the system, and then seeing their bank accounts and how everything was doing prior to Democrat governors and Ron DeSantis for a month, locking down their states and making them artificially poor. How about, why would anybody flip away from Trump in 2020? That makes no fucking sense at all, except for a couple of those housewives that you think, oh, at least they click like on my videos. That's so great.
Switching minds once. That's switching minds twice. That's super difficult. So, that's a hard thing. And that's putting aside all of the oddities and all the rest of the
That's all you pointed out. Stop it. You're lying.
scandals and all that kind of stuff.
Which ones? Which scandals? Oh, the one like Russia? The Ukraine phone call? What other? The other reports? How many other impeachments you want to bring up? Oh, January 6th was so terrible. I'm surprised he hasn't started to toot that trumpet, but I'm sure that's probably coming down the line, right?
The case for DeSantis is that DeSantis is extremely meticulous about how he approaches politics. You see.
Okay. Again, how can you quantify that? Oh, he's very good. Okay, Trump works around the clock. Like, he's legendary for his work ethic. You could say the exact same thing, but okay. He's a career politician. I don't know why that's necessarily a good thing.
See, for example, there are no leaks from his campaign because he actually staffs up correctly.
That's, well, I guess this was filmed before he announced, and in the past couple of weeks, oh boy, have some of those surrogates have some very awful pasts being exposed, and especially him standing right behind the Babylon Bee, publicly firing somebody because they had the audacity to say, Christina Pusha, what the fuck are you doing? Interesting. Yeah, see, that's the we want to lose with dignity side of the Republican Party. These are the real conservatives that are out there, that it doesn't matter win, lose, or draw as long as we play a fair, honest game. That's what we're in here for. Meanwhile, your opponents don't give a single fuck. They will shiv you in the back in a moment's notice. Catch up with the fucking times, you blithering idiot.
As opposed to Trump, who's going on Truth Social and bashing somebody he hired as an idiot every other day.
See, once again, rent fucking free. Tell me something good about Ron DeSantis. Oh, he's meticulous about politics, unlike Trump, who goes on Truth Social all the time. No, Ron DeSantis just doesn't have the equivalent opponents that's out there. Also, sends his surrogates on the attack as well, and it doesn't nearly have the same presence. But again, prop up DeSantis without having to tear down Trump. You actually can't, so far at least.
He hired them. DeSantis actually doesn't have any leaks. He hires a team. He's very meticulous about it. When he focuses on an issue, he really focuses on an issue.
Yeah, woke, Disney, woke, Disney, groomers, Disney, Gavin Newsom.
He's good at actually governing. So
again, with nothing that you can actually quantify. Just, he's good at governing and he's meticulous.
Dirty little secret about Florida is a really well-governed state, right? We have all the culture war stuff that makes the national media, but the stuff that doesn't make the national media is that when there's a hurricane, we're rebuilding bridges within like a day.
No, that's 1,000% a W. How quickly the turnaround was after that hurricane. Is that Irene, something like that ran through Florida last fall? The place was up and running. He had everything planned out. Fantastic stuff. No, definitely agree with him on that point. But take a look how quickly Trump turned around. What was that, Puerto Rico? After they allowed the funding that was there. Trump was down there, flipping the fucking paper towel into the crowd. He was right down there at a moment's notice. So I just want to say, if he's going to compare and contrast that to Trump, he might once again have that old selective memory. Maybe that's why he wears the little hat, just in case any of the thoughts, escape.
Right, that the problems actually get solved here. That DeSantis brought down crime rates dramatically. That he offered police officer a $10,000 stipend to move into the state.
So spending more taxes, so having higher taxes and incentivizing people. That's kind of interesting.
And in the state of Florida, if you have a kid who's going to school, you have available to you now, as of July, like an $8,000 school tax credit. So you can actually take your kid out of a public school if you want to and move them to the local private school if you think that that's a better school. I mean, these are very good things for people who are living in the state of Florida, which is why it's the #1 incoming state for population. So he's very good at just like the pure governance of it.
Yeah, exactly. Things that only a governor can do. You can't do that at the federal level. There's this pesky thing called the 10th Amendment that allows for states' rights and the rights to govern the people that live within the confines of the state. I know it's weird, but you can't necessarily do that at the federal level, those two things that you pointed out. Sure, you can offer the National Guard. You can't send them in there. You have to cooperate with the governors. So just because you're a good governor doesn't necessarily mean just because you're down there micromanaging, being meticulous about your politics, doesn't mean that will extrapolate out to being a good president. You know, we could just have the other guy that's running that you just have a hate boner for because he looks like the bullies that used to stuff you in a locker in high school and in college. I understand you have a visceral disgust for somebody who is the outright Chad of the place, and you're just over there being little Ben playing your fucking violin, hoping that nobody decides to put rosin in your mouth one more time.
And then on sort of the culture war front, he's taking on a lot of the culture wars in a way that really animates the base. The base doesn't.
And is he winning? He's taking them on.
Doesn't want a Mitt Romney type who's going to be, sort of
the Mitt Romney type that you backed.
Dull as ditch water, really glossy. They
Have you listened to a Ron DeSantis interview? Holy fuck. This is a 7-minute long video, huh?
want somebody who's willing to get in the trenches and fight, which is why he's very popular in the primaries right now.
You want somebody that'll get into the trenches and fight. That's why he's very popular in the primaries right now. Uh-huh. Yeah, sure. Again, what's the difference? What's the difference?
Now, because the media chose him as sort of its opponent. And that was over COVID, where he happened to be right, and the left happened to be completely wrong on that.
What was the difference for those first couple of months? And then reinstituting a couple of policies in May and June of 2020. No, that's that selective memory that Ben has. Probably about the exact same time that he was also putting out those tweets where it was just get the vax dopes, masks work, and all of that other propaganda. It's funny, birds of a feather and, all that stuff.
Using Andrew Cuomo, whose two missions in life were killing old people and grabbing ass, and he ran out of old people.
Very funny. But yeah, once again, that's why this side always wants to just try to continue to capitulate to women, because what ultimately took down Andrew Cuomo, it wasn't often the old people, right? It was a couple of inappropriate Italian sausage jokes. Hey, you want the biggest sausage pizza I got right here at the governor's mansion down there, huh? So that's what took him down. But yeah. It doesn't matter, man. Whether it's the left, it doesn't matter if it's any other subgroup of them, Black Lives Matter, any of the wokesies that are out there. You can never appeal enough to women. They will continue to try and take more ground. And that's the strategy of the DeSantis camp right now. It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
The DeSantis has his governance during COVID, keeping the state open, keeping the economy running.
That's false. It's provably false.
Against all of what the media was saying, and he succeeded with that. So that's a really
he succeeded, huh?
Good case for DeSantis. Now, listen, there are flaws with DeSantis as a candidate. He's not nearly as sort of magnetic as Trump because.
No. He gets into the ditches and he fights the culture wars and he drills down on topics, right? But he's dull as dishwater. But that's no, it's fine, it's great.
No one is. I mean, Trump is just like, he's been on TV for years and years and years and years, and the camera.
Even beforehand, he's been a public figure forever. Even before you were alive, Ben, I understand that, or you should also understand that history begins before you, and people can also take a look back at history at all of your poor choices and poor endorsement record.
I was just drawn to him. I think that the battle for Trump is going to be between the fact that he's magnetic and the fact that he's extraordinarily tiring. Like, if you see him too much, everybody's just like, like.
Actually, that's false, especially during the press conferences. If you seem to remember, because Ben Shapiro has bought into the DeSantis campaign tactic of, Ron DeSantis was correct on COVID. Fantastic stuff. You seem to remember, Trump used to do those national addresses that were on, national TV every day. The more people seen of Trump, the higher his approval ratings went. Weird. But he's tiring, apparently, right? Maybe for the people that just do politics 24/7. Maybe for the people that have an intrinsic and undying hate boner for him because he just doesn't like the orange man. He's just bad, right?
Like, I can't with this. And for
see, that was very revealing. I can't with this.
DeSantis, the battle is going to be, how do you keep people interested? Because he's very pugilistic, but
he's very fantastic. Oh, he's a good fighter. He's a good scrapper. He can go down to the ditches. when did I talk about this? Was that earlier today? I can't fucking remember. I record so many goddamn videos and they all just run together. But I was talking about the importance of eliciting an emotional response. The difference between the opposite of love isn't hate. The opposite of love is indifference. Regardless, if you can inspire an emotional response from anybody, then you have them, because you can take them on that ride. Ron DeSantis inspires abject apathy. The moment that he takes a stage and he starts to go off on his diatribes where it's, I was really good during COVID and I would have fired Fauci. The moment that happens, everybody starts squirming in their chair, looking at their phone, staring at their feet, counting the loops that they can put their laces through. Like, nobody gives a fuck. He's like Xanax Jeb Bush, for Christ's sakes. And we seen the clip earlier. Nobody likes him. They're just like, yeah, if he's the nominee, I'll vote for him because I normally vote Republican. That's the type of loyalty he inspires. He's legitimately John Kerry, okay? If you remember the 2004 presidential election, right? He's giving off those vibes right now. Ron Kerry. I like it.
He's not like an amazing speaker or something. He's not super personable. Trump's a big people person. He likes ripping people, and giving them a hug, and he likes, or at least shaking their hand. He likes going out in public. He likes the adulation. He likes interactions.
Wow, well, man of the people, we don't like that. We just like politicians and people that you can get on your talk show.
That's not DeSantis. DeSantis is a lot more kind of reserved as a person, and
right.
So that's an uphill battle for him. But he also knows how to run a government, and if he gets into the presidency, then he presumably will not allow the quote-unquote deep state to thwart him. He'll just go in and he'll fire a bunch of people. Like he was in Congress. He's been a governor. He knows how to run things. So
that's fantastic. Oh, he'll just go in and he'll fire people that he can't fire outside of getting congressional approval.
That's the case for DeSantis, and I think also against Trump.
Yeah, because you can't prop up DeSantis without tearing down Trump. That shows that you really have strong convictions when it comes to DeSantis, huh?
And what would you say to those people who say that DeSantis simply doesn't have the cut through with ordinary people like Trump does?
I don't know who the ordinary people are. So I think that...
Don't you have the biggest right-leaning political talk show? I don't care I don't know what the average person thinks because I'm so much better than you. You just read any sort of Daily Wire press release, whenever they have some fucking brain dead take, especially when it comes to popular media out there. What is it? Matt Walsh thinks that all anime and video games are satanic, whatever dumb shit that they'll fucking go off on in their trad cuck moralism. It's hilarious. We're just better than them because we deal with big boy topics, and why would anybody possibly waste their time on that stuff? For as much as I'm against escapism and that shit, I understand the appeal, and I understand that it is important to not have politicization in the messaging that's there. I understand that. They don't get that. They just all see it as childish, and who cares about that stuff? Yeah, if it's just all supposed to be, it's just a simple, it's a story about space wizards intended for children. Who the fuck could possibly care about that stuff? Yeah, your kids who go to those institutions, who get indoctrinated from the people who have the fucking pride flag, and then have the kids, instead of pledge allegiance to the stars and bars, pledge it to the fucking, multicolored atrocity up at the front. And yeah, listen to those people. But, oh man, hey, it doesn't really matter. We're just going to go over there. We're just going to make the media that we want to make. You put out one shitty fucking forgettable film. Fantastic stuff. Tell us more about, the rousing success that was What is a Woman on Twitter, and the only reason that, because you guys were spurging out about, it's being censored for hate speech, we're never going to be able to get our message out there. Yeah, if you didn't have that elitist connection with Elon Musk, that shit would have just completely fucking died on the vine. But you like to have that access, don't you? That's coming through very, very well in this little snippet.
It's true that Trump, for, let's say, blue-collar, conservative, white voters, there's nobody going to be like Trump.
White voters. That's interesting because what were the Hispanics tracking? Oh, for Trump, better than any other Republican. That's interesting. And he began that wave by calling out illegal immigration, which is not at all popular with the legal Hispanics that are here. And then what was that? The biggest percentage of the black vote in recent history? Oh, that came from Trump, but it's all those blue-collared hicks that you'd appreciate, if they signed up for Daily Wire Plus, but frankly, don't really care.
No one. Trump has a magic with this group, and it's not an insignificant group of people by any measure, but
Yeah, just compare the rally size between DeSantis and Trump, and it's not even comparable.
The question for those people is going to be, do you want to vote for the guy you love, but who's likely to lose, or do you like to vote for
For me, for my pick, validate my opinions because nobody else does.
somebody who you like, but is significantly more likely to win? And that really...
You think DeSantis is more likely to win? Cool, man. Yeah, he's a fighter. He's going to get into the trenches until things get tough, and then it's like, oh, it's just all fun and games. Don't worry about it, guys.
is going to have to be the question for people. I mean, I had this conversation with a guy the other day, and he's like, yeah, I think DeSantis has a better shot. There's a Wall Street Journal poll that came out this week that says the same thing. 41% of Republicans...
See, I can go ahead and appeal to authority. He used to be pretty good about these debates about dispelling those type of tactics, but the Wall Street Journal said it, and they're great. Yeah, Wall Street Journal also endorsed Trump in 2020, so who the fuck cares what they have to say about that? They spend more time, they spent more ink trying to take down Vince fucking McMahon than making correct and accurate political interpretations. They can go ahead and they can assess the stock markets, but leave the politics at home, okay, fuckers?
Republican voters say DeSantis is more likely to beat Biden. 31% say Trump. That same poll showed 51% voting for Trump in the primaries versus 38% for DeSantis. It's like, who are these 20% of people who don't think that Trump is likely to win, but will vote for him in a primary? Who are those people? Like,
I don't know. How about people that just maybe aren't all that honest? Maybe you put way too much stock in polls instead of people turning out in order to hear the candidates talk. People who actually have organic interaction. Interesting. No, don't look at any of those metrics when you have the corollary in 2016. Remember how Hillary Clinton was packing out stadiums? Half of stadiums, quarter stadiums, cried when LeBron wouldn't turn up to a rally in Akron, Ohio. I mean, come on, it was close, right? As opposed to Trump, who was filling out fucking airstrips. But no. It's more important to just go ahead and take the blue-collar vote for granted, and we just need to start appealing to the coast of... Because, as you said earlier in this little interview clip, it's really tough to change somebody's opinions twice. Interesting for the people that have born and bred Democrats that are still in those fucking dilapidated cities, the people that are upholding the policies that let people shit and piss on the street, shoot up and get $1,200 a month stipends. You think you're going to change those people's mind by trying to capitulate to them, by trying to give them a little bit of an inch? You give them an inch, they will take a fucking mile, dude. And you think somebody who's been in politics for this long would understand that, but hey man, orange man bad, right?
Like that's such a weird thing. You're going to vote for him in the primary knowing that he's likely to lose. Like that seems very strange to me. I think that people have to get over this this sort of weird
hatred of Trump. I understand, right?
Dream-esque quality that they have about Trump, which is that he's sort of a miracle worker. And again, I think that actually...
Yeah, he's popular. He has a better Q rating. What the fuck are you on about? Politics has changed. It's just like his relationship advice. It's all from the 20th century. His understanding of politics is exactly the fucking same way. Or he's a better politician. Maybe he'll hit all the talking parts the exact same way. It's not how fucking shit works anymore. Stop dealing with the world how you idealize it. Start dealing with it how it is.
It goes back to 2012. Because in 2012, when Romney ran and Obama was unpopular and Romney lost...
Yeah, that's hilarious. And once again, who was out there on the stump? Definitely Matt Walsh. And, oh, you were there as well, right? Oh.
The Democrats decided they were never going to lose another election, and Republicans also thought Democrats are never going to lose another election. They've built a new minority-majority coalition with some college-educated white people. They're never going to lose. They've got this thing from here on in. That was
Then what happened in 2016?
Theme for Hillary. And then Trump wins, and everybody's brain just breaks. The left,
like yours.
Left goes, it must have been the Russians. The Russians must have stolen this thing. And the right goes, he must be a wizard. I mean, there's...
Oh my God, that just exposes how little he knows or cares or even values the opinions of the average person, because everybody who could at least look back in retrospect, I'm sure you guys probably noticed this. I haven't looked at the chat in a second, but you guys probably also know that Trump won because people were just sick and tired of the elitist opinions that were coming out of the Obama administrations. They took a look at Hillary Clinton, and the only thing that came to mind when they see her is like, oh God, I hope to God that she's not going to be the president. They went into that voting booth, and then just even if they were having any reservations, it's like, well, he doesn't have any experience. Okay, but he's better than the alternative. We just no more of this shit. If it was, simply it's just everybody's got to put faith. It's just all feelings and opinions, right? No, and people were sick of that system. They gave the Democrats a chance in 2008, and they went and squandered it. And they took a look at Romney, and it's like magic underwear and binders of women. Fantastic stuff. Ain't voting for this uninspiring cuck. And then in 2016, they just thought, fuck it, man. You know what do we got to lose? Just like what Trump said to the Hispanics. It's like, what do you got to lose? Just vote for me, folks. It'll be great. Or was that to the blacks? Regardless, he was talking to the minorities, and they're like, yeah, no, hey, fucking whatever, man. Let's just go for it. That's what people did. That's what people actually voted for, instead of having their great-great-great-grandparents vote for the 81 million vote getter who can't even remember which fucking shoe to put on what foot.
There's no way for us. There's no way for us to win. I mean, look at this. He lost by 3 million votes, but he pulled exactly right in this place. The bolts hit from Zeus, and suddenly he's president.
That's what you think. Again, Ben just not understanding working class people is hilarious, because he comes from, if you know anything about his past, he comes from an upper class upbringing. He's gone to the best schools. What was it, Harvard or Yale Law that he came out of? He's been practicing violin for fucking ever. He married a doctor. We all know that. He comes from a very strict Dem Boys background. So the only time that he sees a working class person, is when they're filling up his gas tank. He doesn't interact with the people that subscribe to Daily Wire, that think that, this is the base take that's out there. This is so much better than Fox News. Daily Wire is Fox News with a better internet connection. And he's exposing this right now. It is out there for the world to see, but will anybody see it?
The man works miracles. And then 2020 happens, and now the presuppositions are challenged again. So the left goes, well, maybe, our coalition is more durable.
Maybe we'll just steal it.
Than we thought it was in 2016. And the right goes, well, maybe he's not a miracle worker. And then Trump says, I didn't lose. Well, maybe he's a miracle worker who got stiffed. Right? He's still a miracle worker. And so the question for a lot of Republicans is going to be, do you still think he's a miracle worker? Do you think that he's being jobbed? Or do you think
it's a very, again, like you've seen with the Comey press conference, it's a very strong corollary between 16 and 24. You have somebody who has a track record right now with Biden, where it's like, okay, you could have just had the nostalgia goggles on for the first couple of months of the Obama presidency, and we could have a return to normalcy. The exact type of shit that Benny Boy's talking about right here, where he's like, Ron DeSantis is like Trump without without any of the baggage. Yeah, but then you can draw and you can take a look at all of the boxes and boxes of baggage that Biden has, and how tangibly worse off your life is. And then the moment that you start to roll out that list of accomplishments that Biden has, well, the accomplishment lists, it won't even get down to your wrist. But the failures, well, that role is just going to completely overtake the audience, and it's still being written on as the days go on. So there's a stark contrast between the two. And if you don't think that people in the Rust Belt, the people that are getting hit the hardest right now, won't go, we can't do with this Democrat shit anymore. These people are fucking up real hard. So if you don't think that can't happen again, you're out of your fucking gourd. But Ben, you don't know middle class people. You don't even know upper middle class people. All you know are the doctors and the lawyers and the highfalutin media elite types.
Political gravity applies, and he won one election, and then he lost 3 elections. He lost 2018, he lost 2020, he lost 2022.
He lost 2018. Man, Ben is just so mad that his blue wave prediction in 2018 went absolutely fucking nowhere. And where exactly was Trump on the 2022 ticket? I'm just wondering, because all of his primary endorsements, he went 124 and 2. So I think that was pretty rousing success. But what about, because Ron DeSantis, your boy out there, he actually made a couple of endorsements in 2022. And if turnabout is fair play, how was his endorsements? Okay, cool.
Those are
and then in 2020,
3 elections he did not do well in.
Right. He didn't do well, but Ron DeSantis would do so much better. What a fucking cuck. Ugh. Sorry to leave everybody on just, bad taste in their mouth, but, well, I guess that's you can experience what happens with him and his wife on a monthly basis, if we're going to keep it a buck. But that's about all I got for coverage right there. So I think we got we got Benny's take, and I don't really think it's all that great. I wasn't really expecting much, but didn't really anticipate the whole mask off moment where it's like, yeah, poor people, who fucking cares what they have to think. But taking a look at Trump's indictment situation, it's definitely a lawsuit. We can say that is a political hit job. Sure seems like an unequal application of the law. At least that, and I think we'll probably get some more information tomorrow, and then Tuesday's definitely going to be something, man, because there's quite a few little pop-up oh my gosh, what am I thinking? Not support groups, but little protests, I guess, for the lack of a better term, that's going to be happening in Miami. I think I heard something about Myron Gaines might actually be going down to the Miami one. And you know what? Hey, I took a look and just to see how expensive flights were to just go down to Miami, because I just wanted to check. And yeah, even if I had a lot of money, fucking Christ, like I ain't paying $2,500 just to, fly down there for the week just to go check out everything, because I was interested. Would have done it if I could have, but I can't, so I won't. But we'll just be covering it on Tuesday from, the same little DKS studio, shall we? So, yeah. Oh, yeah. And since I brought up Myron, gonna be doing some. There was a hit piece done on him by New York Post. We'll be doing a video on that. It should be done this week at some point in time, because the boys, they caught a strike right now. So Fresh and Fit, this is we're talking about, and yeah, so they can't talk about it, and I haven't seen many people talk about the. Maybe Rolo did on his stream tonight. I know Meme was in the chat, and he was saying that Rolo had a good stream about Lauren Southern. And I seen you guys going back and forth, and I hate me some Lauren Southern. So anytime that you have some disparaging remarks about that, yeah, we're not 2 hours. Yeah, fuck. After that just fucking let him fly. God, she is the detestable being. And now for the fact that she's just trying to spin, I was in an abusive relationship, and now I'm going through a divorce. Please sign up for my OnlyFans. Fucking shut your mouth, you fucking attention-seeking. Just like, she's just the right-leaning Megan Fox, for Christ's sakes. Like, come on. She already went on that screed way back in, what was that, 2021, when she was, the right betrayed me, and now all of a sudden, my husband's betraying me. Just shut your fucking grifting mouth, you dumb cunt. Like, nobody fucking cares about you. You've hit the wall. You have replacements that's out there. Just go ahead and do the all men are trash Tommy Lahren shit and get the fuck out of here. We're done with your shit. Shut up. But yeah, that was just, inbuilt misogyny that came out there for a second. Oh, right, that's what I was going to do, because I want to allude to something without exposing anything. Yeah, because speaking about, Myron, going to do that video that's right there. But the Tate situation is apparently supposed to be cleared up. The first, Andrew Tate, right? The first emergency meeting is supposed to be happening this Wednesday. That's going to be very interesting. There's supposed to be a second part of the PBD podcast. They went down, he went down to the Romanian compound and interviewed the guys. So that'll be very interesting. And, without saying too much, very weird thing ended up happening. And, without getting into any details, I got some information. I got some exclusive information from somebody associated to something. I don't want to give away anything, mostly because, they offered me this information in private, and it was I'm still shocked that I received it. And I need to do some. I've checked the information that I have received, and it all seems legit. But to get that kind of background information of all the people that's talking about this stuff, for them to choose me is weird. And I think we're going to be in for something very interesting with that as well. So I've had some short correspondence with this person, and story's wild. It's very, very wild. Not going to get into any specifics, like I said, but if you see something that has exclusive in the video title pop up this week, should be coming out this week. It's a trip. It was definitely a trip to see the communication come through, and it's like, you sure you wanted to send that to me? But anyways, doing that when it comes to the Tate stuff. And then Tuesday as well, I think I was going to talk about, then we got Trump's indictment and shit like that. But we should be doing a stream on Tuesday like that. I just want to run through the chat here real quick. Shout everybody out. I seen Rookie, and I seen the Meme was in here early. Got an Aussie out here, and George is in here as well. And then Maintained Rage as well. That's what I was meaning. Aussie. It's great to see international people. I'm a Canadian talking about United States politics being heard from different people throughout the world. It's fucking wild to think about, and I appreciate everybody turning out for this one. Yeah, so for George, maintained rage. Rookie as well over here, just on the Rumble side on all this stuff. Yeah, really sick. Yeah, DeSantis is allowing jazz kids to get mutilated. Yeah, hey, Meadows, great to see you back in here, man. Good stuff. If you're still in here as well, shout out to you. Let's see. Lauren ruined Canadians for me. You have an uphill battle to gain me back. That's, yes, whatever. She's fucking atrocious. What's up, Meadows? Yeah, good to see you, man. Glad you came back. But yeah, no. Ugh. Love your work. Oh, yeah, appreciate it, my Aussie friend down there. It's fucking hot, and I've got the camera pulled up right now on the front of my screen, and I just look like a fucking melting stick of butter right now. But, just, a little bit better. A little bit better than that. Oh, let's see what we got over here. Non sequitur, shout out to you, buddy. Hey! Oh, what the fuck? Hey, Ed, what's up, buddy? I stay in Scotland. Hey, John, Scotland. That's fucking cool. That's really cool. What's up, guys? But yeah, no, I appreciate everybody turning out for this one. Kind of a goofy time frame to come out, but I really do appreciate that. So, no, I just got here, bro. No, it's all good, Ed. You're here all the fucking time anyway. So yeah, no, I just appreciate you guys. And yeah, we ended up going for what, an hour? My timer says an hour 50. YouTube timer says $1:47, and Rumble timer, well, not entirely sure, but no. So yeah, thanks guys for turning out, and hopefully you got some information on that one, because it was a lot. It was talking dense, and then I didn't anticipate that Ben Shapiro 7-minute long video ended up taking like the better part of half an hour. Fucking Christ. But hey man, Ben says some stupid shit and nobody ever really pushes back effectively on him. It's kind of like a Destiny debate where he's just setting up straw mans out there in the field and nobody really wants to check him on that, except for Myron. He's probably the best. That and Sargon is also really good at the political shit, which, if somebody reminds me about one of the dumbest things that Destiny ever fucking said, was during the election 2020 Sargon stream, where he had a bunch of people on. Destiny came on real quick, and he said, unironically and with full confidence, said that the UK never had lockdowns. Yeah, he had the audacity to say that the UK never had fucking lockdowns. I know John's in here, okay, from Scotland. Yeah, there were lockdowns in the fucking UK, okay? There were lockdowns in Canada that just got lifted thanks to the trucker protest, right? Well, at least in Alberta. So for him to have the stupidity to fucking parrot that, if you understood that stuff, and that was, all the way back in 2020, you can understand his infiltration and his tactics with all of his little surrogates out there running through on the red pill right now. It makes a lot of sense. But no, I appreciate you guys for turning out on this one. Like I said, prolonged stream, and then also kept in the background for an additional day as well. But it's important stuff, and we'll more than likely be coming back to it again real soon. So thanks for hooking me up with significant portion of your Sunday evening, and it's going to be a fun one here. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.